Hello everyone, Gorgeous Biker here. Today's video is going to be about how to pass your bike test. So the first thing you need to do when you're going for your bike test is to ensure that you either have a full driving licence or you need a provisional licence, and the link to this will be in the description below. So there are two ways that you can go around getting your bike licence. So the first route of doing your bike licence is the progressive route, and this allows you to progress up through the bike licences, gaining riding experiences as you go, and this way you can sort of actually obtain your full licence at a younger age. I think it's about 21. And there's also a direct access course that you can do when you're 24, which is the way I went about doing my test. Whichever avenue that you decide to take, you will need a CBT test. So this is a certificate that lasts up to 2 years, and it's for anyone of 16 and over. You have to ride with L plates at all times. So CBT stands for compulsory basic training. This is compulsory now before any other test that you can take. However, if you passed your driving test before February 2001, this does not mean you need to complete it. But anyone over that year, you need a CBT before you do anything else. So the CBT consists of on and off site training, where at least 2 hours of it needs to be on the road. There is also on-site training where you practice manoeuvring on the bike around cones, doing figure eights, doing slaloms, etc., things like that. They also talk you through around the bike and talk about what the bike's all about and things like that. The CBT will cost you probably around £100 to £120. The first licence that you're going to do after your CBT is the AM licence. It's very similar to the CBT, so you can ride up to a 50cc motorcycle or trike, and anyone for 16 and over. And this actually means you don't have to have L plates, you can carry a passenger. The next licence is up to an A1 licence. This one allows riders of 17 years and over to ride up to a 125cc bike. This means that you can also ride without L plates, carry a pillion passenger, and you can actually ride on the motorways with it. And there's a third one, which is the A2 licence, and this allows riders of 19 and over to ride a bike without L plates up to a 400cc bike. Same things, it's got no L plates, riding on motorways, you can carry a pillion passenger. And finally, the last one, which all of you have tuned in to learn about, is the A licence, which is you can ride any size motorcycle that you want. Right, so I'm going to talk to you now about the direct access route, and this is the way that I went and did my bike test. So obviously I did a CBT when I was 16 years old, when I was waiting for my driving test and my licence. It got me from A to B, but I did nothing else to do with bikes up until I was 24, which is when I could actually go for the direct access route. I personally feel that it's a better way of doing it, only because of the fact that it's quicker and probably cheaper in the long run. But obviously with the other route, you do get a lot more experience on your riding and things like that. In the long run, obviously it's cheaper, and the direct access route is sort of permitted from your age rather than your riding experience. But both routes, be it the progressive route or the direct route, you must undertake a theory test. You can book this on the same website where you can get your provisional licence, and as I say, the website's in the description below. And this basically consists of a multiple choice section of 50 questions and a hazard perception section where you can watch a video and spot hazards on the road. You must pass both sections in order to pass. The theory costs you roughly around £30. If you do not go up in your licences, you will have to retake your theory. So it's really important that if you're doing your theory, you get and book your modules straight away. So I did my CBT test, and that takes about a day to do. And then I went on to do my theory test later and passed first time. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest, especially if you've done a driving theory. It's pretty much the same, just sort of related more to bikes, but it's all about sort of road signs and things that you already know if you've done your car tests. The only advice I can really give on that is making sure you do lots of practice online and lots of practice tests, and this really helps. And then sort of with the bike sort of aspect of it, I used to practice on my friend's 900cc on private land. Personally, I think he was insane, because I would never let anyone ride my 600. That's just, no, I just wouldn't do it. But he really wanted me to sort of you know, gain my confidence, learn how to go up and down the gears, using the clutch, control, all that sort of thing. And he like literally spent, you know, every weekend out there sort of practicing with me. So when eventually I felt confident enough, obviously I went and did my CBT with the instructor that I'd sort of signed up with. And then we sort of then ran through the 2 modules. So he would, you know, go, oh, chuck me £20. And for 2 hours, he'd let me run through the module 1. He'd set it up for me and we'd practice. So that was really helpful. Unfortunately, though, for my module 1, I did fail first time. Now, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, it's really, really common. So if you do fail, don't beat yourself up about it, because, you know, it's one of the most commonly failed modules out of the 2. I unfortunately put my foot down on the slalom because I got really, really nervous and I was like really, really upset. But my recommendation, and I really encourage you, is to do what I did and go through the test. Even though you failed it and you've got to pay again and all that stuff, you know, do it, because then the next time you come to do your module 1, you know exactly what you're getting yourself into and then you will pass. I passed, you know, second time. So I was really, really pleased about that. Okay, so if for any reason you do fail your module 1 or module 2, you have to wait 10 working days before rebooking. I don't know why they do this. It's just how it is, unfortunately. So what the module 1 consists of is about 20 minutes of off-road assessment. And this is where you have to do it on at least a 600cc bike. And I did it on a 600cc Bandit. The module consists of wheeling and parking the bike, riding a slalom and a figure of 8, a slow ride, a U-turn, and then you do riding around the corner and, you know, doing a sort of controlled stop. And then you do it again and you do an emergency stop, and then you go around again and you do a swerve in sort of, it's called a swerve, but it's sort of like avoiding hazard. You have to go up to 30 miles an hour in this, guys, because if you don't, it's a fail. So they will explain this to you when you're doing your test. So module 2 is the practical test, and this consists of 40 minutes on the main road, where you are being followed independently by an instructor. It consists of basic safety questions around the bike as well, so they'll sort of ask questions about pillion passengers and things like that. The best thing with module 2 is to relax. Seriously, guys, relax. Just treat it like you're going out on a bike ride with your mates. Because the thing is, they want to see you relaxed and that you're competent and confident in what you're doing. Sort of ensure that you're checking over your shoulder and every time you're doing a manoeuvre. So if you're moving lanes or you're going around a corner or if you're pulling off, anything like that, make sure you're checking over your shoulders, making sure that you're making sure there's no hazards around. If you don't look, they will fail you straight away. There's no thing about it. So you need to make sure you're showing them, same as in a driving test, that you're looking in your mirrors and you're checking everything, okay? The instructor wants you to have a good time, and he even said to me at the end of mine, he said, oh, you know, you really started to enjoy yourself, and I did as well, because you actually got up to the speed limit. So, you know, it is really important. Just relax, just chill, okay? So the module 1 costs roughly around £150, plus I obviously paid an extra £60 to retake it. This includes obviously bike hire from your instructor, and he also took me to all my tests and things like that. And I think the module 2 roughly cost around £350, including obviously bike hire, fuel, and my instructor's time. When you go for your test, please remember your stuff, okay? Because if you don't, you won't be able to take your test. You need to bring your driving license, your theory certificate, a motorbike, obviously, your CBT certificate, and your module 1 certificate if you're going for your module 2. And obviously your bike gear, so your helmet, your gloves, your boots, etc. And then once you're all passed, you send off everything, you know, send your license off to DVLA to be updated. So just to finish off the video, I'm going to give you my top tips on passing your test. So plenty of practice with an instructor beforehand, okay guys? Plenty of practice so that you get your confidence, and particularly with your manoeuvres such as figure 8 and slalom and being on the road and your road positioning. They're the 4 things you really need to make sure you're on point with. Prep, make sure you have everything with you. I can't even stress this enough, please, because people have actually been turned away and had to repay, okay? Bring your relevant paperwork. If you don't have it with you, you cannot take your test, okay? Another thing, watch your speed. Stay within speed limits, otherwise they will fail you. Stay calm and relax, like nice deep breaths, and just take it as if you're on a road trip with your guy friends or girlfriends or whatever. Lifesaver checks before maneuvering in like the road or moving your bike. Even on the, when you're parking your bike up in module 1, you need to look before you move your bike. Please don't fail your test from not looking. You'll be really annoyed with yourself if you fail for something so simple. And finally, again, practice, practice, practice. If you chuck someone £20 just to go and practice your module 1, do it just until you feel confident enough to do that test. Okay, that's all my recommendations are. So I hope this video helps you guys. Good luck in taking your test. Peace out, stay safe, and be gorgeous.